All right, in this video, we're going to go through the markets, the instruments. We're going to talk about the watch list, the indicative and the charts, and this top menu up here, basically the layout of your platform. Okay? So on the left side, what you're going to see is you're going to see the Finder. You can turn the Finder on and off by clicking the left menu up here. And when you do that, then you can now select either bull spreads or binaries. So they'll be in two separate drop downs. You just click the plus button next to it to expand it out. If you click it all the way down, you're going to see the individual contract. Okay? What you're probably going to want to do is click on like the 10 to 12. If you click on the actual time frame, the expiration itself, then what will happen is you'll be able to actually see that market. So again, just click on, like, say, indices, bull spreads, US Tech, click on 10 to 12. I can click down here on the binaries if I want to look at the NASDAQ US Tech binaries, find that specific market, whichever market it is I'm looking for, click on the time, and then it'll pop on up there for me, and I can see, any of the markets that are available. Okay? So here's US Tech down here. Click on that, and the markets are right there. So it's very simple, just a plus, and then click on the time to see all the expirations, all the contracts during that expiration. Now, notice that will only show you the contracts for that expiration. So if there are, let's say you're looking at FX binaries. This will be a good example. And if we go to Forex binaries, let's quote dollar franc for a second. Like there was, it's expired now. But there was a 9 to 11, and then there's also an 11 a.m. expiration, like on dailies. Or there'll be a 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. There'll be in a little bit here at 1 o'clock, there'll be a 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. So there'll be your intradays, and there'll be your dailies. They have the same expiration time, but you'd have to click on both of them in order to be able to see all the things that are expiring, say, at 3 o'clock. So if there was a 1 to 3 here, when there will be here, like I said, like at 1 o'clock, then you'd have to click on both of those. On the scanner, you can see both 3 o'clock expirations at the same time. But that is how you find them on the Nadex platform. One of the most important things to remember is if you're using the Nadex platform, the scanner will automatically drop off old instruments and add new ones. On the Nadex platform, when something expires, it'll still be here. Okay? So when 12 o'clock rolls around, we're still going to have 10 to 12 showing up. And we're not going to have our 12 to 2s showing up. Now the scanner will automatically populate them, the binary scanner over at apexinvesting.com. But if you're on the Nadex platform, you have to manually hit refresh every hour in order to be able to see the newest contracts. Okay, so we made it where it automatically updates for you. On their platform, you're going to have to manually hit refresh, or you're not going to see the newest contracts. You're going to miss out on contracts that are available, and you'll see old information that's outdated. The next section to understand, once you understand where the spreads and the binaries and all that are, is to go down and look at the indicatives. The indicatives are the underlying markets. I don't know what they have on. That's sort of weird. An indicative on a... Yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah, the events. Okay, so, but if you go over to Nadex indicatives on Forex, this is basically where Forex is trading using their indicative formula. So right here, you can basically see it. Obviously, you can't place a trade because you can't trade Forex and futures on Nadex. This is not the actual FX quote. This is not the actual futures quote. Okay? It's an indicative. It's the average of the last 25 trades on futures. The last 25 trades, the middle 15 of that, it averages the middle 15. So it takes the last 25 and it averages the middle 15. Drops off the top 5 and bottom 5. Okay? And the middle 15 prices. So it'll drop off the top 5 and bottom 5, and that will be the indicative. It'll basically be the mid price. You can also see the indicative if you open up a contract. So if I go over here and I open, silver, I click on it and I click a contract, it'll actually show me the indicative in there. Unless it's not a rollover week. If it's a rollover week, it won't show it to me. Okay? Another update that's coming, July 28th. Right now, Forex uses the last 25 non-sequential mid quotes. Okay? And what that means is if it's the same quote over and over and over and over and over again, it's not going to count it in that last 25. So there could be 125 quotes on Forex if there could be 150 before it actually gets 25 non-sequential where it didn't repeat the same quote, one quote right after another. Now, if it changes and changes back, it'll count it. But if it stayed the same quote over and over again, it right now will only count it one time. And they base it on the mid price because FX can have wide varying bid-ask spreads. They can get sort of crazy. So they use the mid price. They're going to keep using the mid price, which is good. But they're going to drop that sequential requirement. This could be the last 25 mid quotes, middle 15, and that'll go effective here at the end of the month in July. Right now, they are filtering out they are filtering out the sequential quotes. So I'm pretty excited about that update as well. It's another improvement that'll be coming in. Now you can come over here and you can open it up. Let's say you're opening it up and you want to look at the S&P 500. And when you go over here, like, all right, well, US 500, you can click on this and you can say, give me a chart. You can click on quick charts and open up charts. The issue with that is when you're doing that, the Nadex settlement index chart, I guess you may have to use that button. When you open it up, you're not getting the S&P 500 futures. You're getting the indicative price. That indicative price only matters as of expiration. Okay? It does not matter before expiration. The price of a binary, the price of a spread, is based on the actual underlying market, not the indicative. The settlement is based on the indicative, not the live price. The indicative is actually not the official settlement because it's web-based. But it's just a quick, easy chart for you to reference whenever you want to. That's awesome. But it doesn't have a few things. It doesn't have times when Nadex is closed. There won't be quotes, so there's going to be data missing. Okay, like they're closed from 5 to 6. If that market's open at 5, it's not going to be there. Okay, unless they fix that. But right now, it's not there. They're not going to have volume on it because it's not the future. It's not a future contract. It's an indicative of the average last 25 prices. So you're not going to have any volume. You're not going to have any volume on Forex. And over at apexinvesting.com, we use futures Forex volume on our spot Forex trading. So you're basically going to have a price that's an average of the last 25, middle 15, or average of the last 25 average of the middle 15 quotes with no volume and gaps in data. If you just want to check out where the price is at, do a little quick analysis, use them. Okay, I use them every once in a while. I really use their charts more for looking at the actual chart of a binary or chart of a spread if I want to compare and look at how the binary or spread is moving. But I don't use their indicative charts at all. I use real charts, and I show you over at apexinvesting.com how to get that for free under education, one of the very first courses. I show you how to get a platform for free, how to get futures data for free, how to get Forex data for free, and set everything up. And I'm not talking about delayed data, I'm talking about live data. So what are the steps to make that happen? If you hop over to Apex, then you'll see exactly how I do that. And I highly recommend that you do get that set up. Don't get used to these charts, okay? There's a lot of cool things about them. But bottom line is, they're not the accurate data that the live price is based on, and you need to be using that. So that being said, what would I use them for? Well, if I want to go over and pull up, say, the pound yen, and I wanted to look at this binary contract, and I go and I click, quick chart over here, and I want to look at a binary, then I can actually see the price action of the binary itself. And inside that, there's several things I can do. I can look at the historical mid price, bid price. Okay, bid is a sell price. Ask is the offer price. I can look at last traded. This is where actual trades took place. All right, is anybody even trading this one right now? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so I go to bid price. I can go to ask price. I usually leave it on mid unless I'm trying to figure out, hey, did it get to this price on the sell side? Did it get to this price on the buy side? All right. I can turn on or off the horizontal grid. Turn on or off the vertical grid. I usually leave them on. I can say, show me the current price of the binary contract. And I can say, show the price data tooltips. That's basically when you circle over it, which is going to tell you the open, high, low, close. Or not. So you're probably going to leave all that there. You can use candlesticks, lines, mountains, open, high, low, close. Personally, my personal preference is open, high, low, close, but I don't really like the thickness of the bars, so I probably would end up using candlesticks if I'm looking at theirs. And then the cursor, how do you want your cursor to be? I personally like to use a crosshair. I think it's a lot more just visually easy to follow where it's at than trying to find that little dot. Once you got that done, hit close. And there's a few things we can do here. You can even print the chart if you want to. So for your own records, go there and print it, and you can put it up there. So I can print it like I use a program called Snagit at techsmith.com. I can print it directly to Snagit, so I can then export it into Word or wherever else I want it to go. Okay? So it's a very, very simple program, very easy for me to use. But that's one of the options you can use. Okay? And I don't really print it out on my printer. And you can send it to OneNote or just whatever it is you're using. You can also just hit save the chart as an image. So that's another way to do it. And what it'll do is it'll pop up, and now you can save that chart. So there's multiple ways to put that together. But, just whether you want to print it directly to a program, whether you want to save it as an image, it's just a cool feature. So you can add it to your trading journal. And then, let's see, what else do we have on that? We go over and we can, of course, change minutes. So you can go, all the way up. 4 hours isn't going to do you a lot of good on a binary contract that expires in like 2 hours. Okay? So just keep that in mind. You go down there and get a granular all the way down to second. Actually, I think they go down to tick now, like every single tick. That's going to be a line chart because it's a tick chart. So every time that thing changes price, you're going to see it move. You go down to 1 second, so you can see how fast they really do go. Okay? Or you can just group together by minute. See how this thing went from $11.30, went from $10 all the way up to $80, all the way back down to $17. And that's a matter of like 10 minutes. So some massive moves happening right there. All right, so you also have the ability, if you want to add technical analysis indicators on here. You can go on and you can add, the Kimocho clouds. You can, there's a lot of stuff you can add on here. Average true range. And you basically can just play with it. So you're going to need enough data on here in order to be able to do that. So feel free to play with it. I don't really use their charts. I'm more in favor of using actual underlying market charts. But there's a lot of cool little things on here. All these things are going to be on a major charting platform anyway. Pretty much just about everything you see on here will be on that. You can also make drawings. So if you want to go in and say, okay, well, I sold here. I click there. I can turn that arrow around. It's like, where did I sell? And there we go. So I sold there. And then I bought back right there. Okay? Trying to make it plot. And if I want to add in, horizontal lines, so I can, if it gets back up to here, I'll sell again. Right? So, again, this is sort of going into way more detail than you probably need, but I just want to let you know what features are there. And then, of course, you can just delete all your drawings. Yes, delete all my annotations, all my drawings. You can also type on text. Nice trade, whatever. And put that on there. And then layouts. I'd probably get rid of any annotations I have for any of that. But under layouts, you can then go in and you can save this as whatever you want to, but you can save it as my layout. Okay? You could also hit save, and you could say make this a new one. Make this my 5-minute mid view. Because you can make a mid view, and ash view, right? So you don't have to go and change all the settings every time. And then you'll see that you'll be able to go in and load up those different ones. So there's your 5-minute vid view. There's my layout. So if I go to my layout, we'll make this one 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes. We'll do it. Make it 3 minutes, and we'll set it to bid, just so I can show you the difference. And then under layout, I'll save that as my layout. Okay. Yeah, go to replace that one. Now I go to my 5-minute mid view, or I can go to my 3-minute bid view, right? So they're going to look pretty similar, but you can tell the difference there. All right, or I can just go to the default template. So, but you can make as many of those as you want. Just use the arrows there. If it seems like it's too small, you can make the chart bigger. Okay, so you don't have to have all the arrows. You also have the ability to export the chart to maximize the chart. And you can click this button to pull the chart out of the window, which is really nice because then you can move the chart off the screen outside of the Nadex platform. And that is how the charts work. You also know how to get the market instruments. Now let's talk about the watch list. If I wanted to add something to the watch list, you can. Okay? There's only one thing I really suggest you add to the watch list. I suggest you go over, you pull up all your indicatives. Okay, so I Forex, Nadex indicative. I click right here, and I click Add to Watch List. Okay? And it's going to put it on my watch list, right down here in the bottom left corner. As you'll notice, I've added all the indicatives. Here's the reason, is if I do that, the Nadex indicative list is not on the mobile platform. But if I add all the indicatives to my mobile platform, to my watch list, then I can pull up my watch list on the mobile platform and find all those indicatives. So if I want to get an idea on where prices are at or whatever, then I can go right there, I can pull up the charts, etc. Like I said, it's a quick, easy tool to be able to use. So I do add all the indicatives to my watch list. You can go in and edit the watch list. You can change the name. You can also add a new watch list, okay, if you want to, as well. I don't add watch list because these contracts expire constantly. Okay, if they're always expiring, you're not adding the 2 o'clock expiration every day for £1 yen. You're adding the specific strike for the specific expiration on the specific date. And to me, I see absolutely no benefit of adding those to my watch list. I'll just use a scanner and find what I'm looking for in 5 seconds. They do have other ones like your daily binary energies and your daily binary Forex, and that's great. I don't ever use these, okay, literally. I just go over to use the scanner because it's going to give me exactly what I'm looking for. I see a lot of traders trying to make trading systems based on these, and they may get lucky for a little bit, and then it blows up on them. I don't touch any of these watch lists at all. I just use a scanner. I originally did, trying to work with them when I first started trading, but I learned the error of my ways. And, popular daily binaries, I don't care what's popular. I care what I'm looking for. What was recently traded, there's all this stuff on here. And really, that's not where your focus should be. Your focus should be on your specific system, on the exact chart that you're looking for the exact entry you're looking for. And then you should be able to take that trade and not worry about some random watch list that somebody else put together. Okay? But it's not a horrible thing. I'm just saying I personally have no use for it. Maybe you do. If you do, share it with me in the forum and let me know over at Apex Investing. Okay, so that covers how the watch lists work. And the last piece really is just the top section here, as far as looking into sort of knowing your way around the platform. And so we got Finder. We talked about that. That's where your watch list and where your instruments are at. We got Markets. Okay, so you'll notice right here, we turn everything off. All right. So I got Markets. I can turn that off, turn it back on. Markets is when I go over and I select something. So if I go in and I select this, that'll show up in the Markets tab. I can turn it off. I can turn it on. I can resize it. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. Okay? One thing you are going to want to do is right here. This is something that most people don't know. If we go over, let's go to, say, FX, okay? And let's look at a daily selection. Right here under display, it's this default to, I want to say either 10 or maybe 20, okay? There's 21 contracts. Notice that says page 1 of 2, page 2 of 2. Let's get that all in one page because you're going to forget about that. Change that to 50, okay? And now you'll always see all the contracts available for that expiration for the dailies. You'll see all 21 when there are 21. So, very important thing. Right here, you got a different way. You can look at it as pairs. Sort of a different way to look at things. If that works for you, and to me it's just confusing. but it is there. Or you can look at it as a list. You're also able to go in and change what columns are visible. Such as, maybe you don't care when it was last updated. Just as an example. You can turn that off. Okay? You know it's an intraday expiration. Of course it's expiring today. You could turn that off. Time left to expiration. Maybe you want it, maybe you don't. You could turn that off. Okay? You could also resize the columns and make it take up just a small amount of space. Like that right there. Okay? So, or if you decide that you want those back on, just click them and check, check, and check. And you still don't need all the space that it was taking up. And then just click display again, and there your setting is. Okay? So now you got your watch list. Maybe you put that in the top. Well, not your watch list, but your markets. If you're using watch list for any reason, probably the only one, like I said, I'd probably be looking at would be mine. Okay, my watch list, because I'm going to have my indicatives on there. What do I need on here? Now this is probably a very good setup right here. You don't need timed expiration. It's an indicative. It doesn't ever expire. Okay? You don't need expiration. Okay? You don't need updated. You don't need size. Okay? You don't need the chart icon menu because there is no chart icon menu. All you have is the options menu and then the offer just to give you an idea on price. Then what I'd probably do is go over from that, and this is where you may actually want to change from a list view to a pairs view and see the prices of all the markets. That might be a little bit more visible for you. So that would be an option. If you wanted to do that, you could do that. It's going to take up a lot more space. So, or you can just make it really small and really simple. Drag it over. Right here you can grab this, drag this over. Get it set up how you want it. Okay, so there's now all the underlying markets. You want to know where they're all priced at? That gives you a general ballpark idea. Again, it is the indicative. It's the last 25. But it does give you an idea of where everything's priced at. And you can expand this down a little bit further over here. You don't really even need this watch list section, right? Because we're not really using it. I'd be more interested in making sure that I have this whole thing expanded out. So I'm going to drag it on down. I'm going to drag this down. There we go. And so now I can basically see everything that's available for me. Okay, so other tabs that you have up here are mainly the next three are really going to relate to your orders. So if I have a working order going or an open position, then I can have that. Now, I don't need necessarily all this stuff expanded out. I may just want to know that I have it there. So what I'll do is I'll set these up for you real quick, and we'll go in and again, you can resize this. Make sure you take a minute and get it how you like it, okay? My working orders, that's pretty important. Is anything open? Now, I may not need, unless I'm opening a whole lot of contracts, I don't necessarily need a whole lot of space. Okay, I can even put it down here. Probably want to make sure that, my window does fit inside. Go right over here, open this up. What we'll do is we'll open a position, we'll put on a working order, and then we'll figure out what tabs we do or don't want. Okay? So we'll expand this one, make sure it's wide enough. We need more room. Keep going until we have everything we need. Okay. So that's basically how much room we need for open positions. And so I'd move that up here. I'd put my working orders right below it. And I do like to see if, you may want to see order history occasionally, like your most recent orders. And so you can put that right there. And you can see what orders were sent, if something's rejected. They were having errors yesterday. I was trying to take advantage of that. But, so anyways, but you can see everything right there. And we'll click on display. And that's one way to see all your order history, okay? Or pull the report to get the full order history. So some people have that, some people don't have that order history open. It's totally up to you. I personally do like to have it open. And I have it pretty small. I just want to make sure I can see the actual name of the contract with the expiration on it. How many are there, how many got filled. I'll put that down here. You can make this as tight as you want it, or whatever. Probably don't have too many open working orders at the same time. There you go. Okay, so now you got your open, your working, and you got your order history all there. Now this is a pretty cool feature. So first let me go ahead and I'll just throw on a contract real quick. So we'll throw this in here. We'll put this order on. So we got an open position. Okay. And then I'll go back in a second. I'll go through like how to do what I'm doing sort of fast here. I'll place an order. Okay, so I see I sent an order for 65.50. I sent an order for 95. So one of those is working, one of those is closed. And I go over here and I can use these tabs. And I can do just an order ticket, which is going to be blank without, direction or price in it. I can do the quick chart. That's going to be the contract itself. Okay. I can look at the settlement index. I can pull it directly. I can pull that chart directly from here. So putting it up there on another screen. I can also add it to watch list, which I don't usually do. I can do a tear off price. That's a way to sort of monitor something and then initiate a ticket directly from it. Okay, and that's sort of cool because you can tear it off. I can also do a tear off ticket. So the thing is, I go and I do a bunch of these tear off tickets. They can sort of get lost, right? Where are they at? Where are they hanging out at? All that. Well, right here you can use the ticket function to find any tickets that you have and bring them to the front. So there's a ticket button right up here. Can help you with that. Pull that up. I want to close those out, see if anything's outstanding out there that I didn't know I had. Okay? So pretty simple. So just like you have sort of the tickets here, you also have a charts one. It'll show you, it'll bring those charts up. It'll bring them all to the top. And then you can just click there. Okay? Closed all. It'll say all your charts are closed. So just if you're trying to find any of those tabs that are out there, it's an easy way to find them. Right here we got the results. If you go to the results page, like basically so many minutes afterwards, what they'll do is they'll post the expiration values right there. So expiration value, buyer and seller payout. This is pretty new, actually. It's an upgrade. Where you can go in and by date. It'd be nice if you could get tomorrow's, right? But anyway, so you can go in, you can pull historical information up and current day information up. You can also look and see even more detail in the daily bulletin as well. But basically the buyer got paid out 100, the seller was paid out nothing, the seller was paid out 100, the buyer was paid out nothing. And what's the expiration value of any specific contract on that day. And there's a lot of contracts. So all the spreads, all the binaries right there. So we talked about the results page, we talked about the daily bulletin, which I guess it gives you a little bit more information. I'll open that up for you, let you see that. That actually shows you the volume on every contract that was traded. It lets you show the highest price it was traded at, the lowest price it was traded at, the last trade, the first trade. Okay? So all that information is on there. Open interest, which is sort of funny, but that's just because if it goes past the close, there won't be much open interest on anything because just about everything expires in the exact same day. But it's a requirement because it is regulated by the CFTC. And they have buyer and seller payout and all that stuff too. So there's a lot more detailed information on the daily bulletin. One other place you may want to occasionally find information, if you want to actually see the time and sales reports of live trades. Somebody says, hey, we're placing these trades. If you want to see if they really were placed or were they just demoed, time and sales record. And every 15 minutes or so, this time and sales record is actually updated with a timestamp and a price and a quantity of trades that were made. Okay? So you can see all the trades that were placed for the entire day going right in there. And it's a great way to verify. We've caught people before saying, oh, we're selling signals, we're doing all this stuff. We go look at it, there's not a single trade. Sometimes even the strikes will defer. So these are only live trades. Don't go looking for demo strikes and demo trades on a live time and sales report. Okay, there's no demo time and sales report. But that right there should be very helpful for you, just for being able to verify things. Okay, that's basically gonna, okay. on the layout, just go over and I can save this. Right now I have my Apex layout. I'm like, okay, I like this way. I'm going to keep it like this. I can hit save. And I'll just save it as Apex or whatever you want to call it. I'll replace the one I have. Why would I leave this open space? Because maybe I'm going to open some charts or I'm going to open some tickets. I'm going to have a little room to put that over there without blocking my view of everything else I want to watch. Okay? If at any point I want to get stuff off my screen, I mean, we know how, right? Just click right there. And that's, by doing this, you can actually have multiple layouts, and then you can switch between them, which is great because you go over to any computer, and you can choose what layout you want to load. Okay? If I go to like the standard layout, this is the standard layout when you log into Nadex, but maybe you don't like that. Maybe you want the Apex layout, where you got your markets over here. You find out what market you want to look at. You click on that. You got your watch list of where all the underlying markets are trading right now. You got your open positions. You got your working orders. And you got your order history. And then the last piece, there's a help section. It has some little tips and tricks. We pretty much went through all these on using the platform. It does tell you, hey, all times are in Eastern time. There's a countdown timer right here that shows you exact exchange time, so you can make sure your clock's in sync. How to place an order. We'll talk about that here for a moment. Using tick charts and how that works. News story. They really don't have that feature anymore, so why even have it? And let's see. It looks like they're going to expand on their platform and information, but they haven't added those features in. Like I said, they're always adding more details. And then contact information. Pretty much, everything that's in this, but you can always check it occasionally to see if they add anything new. And the main stuff you're going to want probably is just the contact information that's already over here in the Message Us section that we talked about. With that is how to get your way around the Nadex platform. And in the next video, we'll look at additional features.